Hello there again, it's Dusty Thunder with another Reddit story for you. This one from AITA is titled, Am I the Astronaut for Telling My Husband He Shouldn't Be Upset When My Daughter Said That Her Uncle Would Be the One to Walk Her Down the Aisle on Her Wedding Day? I, female 46, got pregnant with my daughter, Sarah, female 26, when I was in college. My parents and my then boyfriend's parents pushed us to marry, which we did. My late husband unfortunately passed away a week after our daughter's second birthday because of a heart complication that we did not even know he had. Holy shit. It was a very hard time for me, and I went through a very bad depression. 4 years later, I met my now husband, Robert, male 46, on a blind date set up by a friend. He was one of my best friend's cousins. We hit it off and got married a year later. Even when we were dating, he was very hands-on with my daughter and did not take too long for my daughter to call him Papa. Even until we got married, when I got pregnant 2 years into the marriage and gave birth to twins, male 17 and female 17, he still acted like a father to Sarah. She was even included in my husband's family reunions. And the cousin group photo shoot that my in-laws organize every Christmas. Things took a bit of a turn when Sarah turned 18. She started calling him by his first name, and both Robert and I were taken aback with the change of attitude that she was displaying. I asked Robert what that was about, but he only shrugged, not knowing the reason too. I thought things would go back to normal, but she has been consistent in calling him by his first name, so I asked her if we could talk. Robert asked if he could join, which Sarah agreed. To make it short, my daughter overheard my husband talking about a Father's Day trip to his friend, who owns a hostel. His friend asked him if he forgot to include Sarah since my husband only asked him to prepare 3 bedrooms. My husband replied that he planned this trip for his real children only. Well, you said what you said. It wouldn't make sense if Sarah was in the trip since he wasn't her real father. You dumbass. This made Sarah feel betrayed and hurt because she saw him as her real dad, even if she knew he was her stepdad. Yes. My husband tried to explain to her that though he loves her as a father, his love for the twins was different since they're his real children. I wanted to just shut him up because he was overusing the word real. You think once was too many times, dude. But Sarah told us to leave her room. What made the day even more depressing was that this day was her last week with us before she leaves the country for college. Since then, every time she comes home, Sarah acts like nothing happened but continues to call Robert by his first name. Robert didn't want to add fuel to the fire and just tolerated it. And now, few years since then, my daughter announced her engagement to her longtime boyfriend. We were very happy for her as they've been dating since they were still college freshmen. 2 weeks before their wedding, we were wondering who would be walking Sarah down the aisle. I assumed it would be Robert since I thought we've moved past that incident, but no. My daughter scoffed at me when I told her about Robert walking her down the aisle. She said, I thought it was obvious that Uncle Greg, my late husband's brother, would be the one to do that. Besides, I'm not his real daughter. It wouldn't make sense if he walked me down the aisle. I did not talk back. Instead, I apologized for my ignorance and told her that I'll speak with Robert about it since he also assumed he'd be the one to walk her down the aisle. When I told him what Sarah said, he was pissed, but I politely reminded him of the incident years ago, which made him even more upset. He said it was a long time ago and that Sarah should just move on. Not him using the defense I was trying to prepare for him about being told how to feel. But using this as a weapon against his stepdaughter, we have to say that now because he already said she's not his real kid. I was offended for my daughter and told him that he shouldn't be upset since he doesn't see her as his real child anyway. He then got teary-eyed and told me not to speak to him. He still attended Sarah's wedding but looked visibly down. We still aren't on good terms and have been pretending in front of relatives. My daughter does not know about this and I want to keep it that way. But nevertheless, it's been a week since my daughter's wedding and Robert is still upset. He only talks to me about the twins and household stuff, but beyond that, he keeps everything to himself. I feel really bad and think he is acting this way because of me, so with that being said, am I the astronaut? We have a top comment here. Let's read the top comment and then I'll delicately express my opinion to Robert. Top comment, Robert brought this on himself. He acted as her father from the time that she was 2 years old, so he is the only father she has ever been aware of, yet he called her not his real child and was careless and cruel enough to do so where she overheard him. Of course, the consequence of that mean attitude is that she doesn't consider him to be her dad. He created this situation. Now he is continuing to be immature and cruel by punishing you for stating the reality of the situation. I think you need to talk to him, and because of his immature attitude, you should probably do it in the presence of a mediator, like a family therapist, if you can afford one. If you can't afford one, I would show him this. He will hurt his relationship with you if he doesn't man up and take responsibility. He could have been doing his best to repair the damage his cruel comment made, but didn't bother. So of course Sarah assumes nothing has changed. He is not the wronged person here. She is. I agree with you, commenter. And again, I hate to use the term man up. Hate it. But it makes sense here because the worst thing that he did was not the statement that he made. Yes, that was a critical failure. It was a huge misstep. I don't think he really feels that way, but he never apologized. The biggest up he made was never even attempting to apologize. He tried to explain. He tried to justify. He never apologized. And the biggest takeaway from this comment that I get is that her only father figure, the only father figure that she's ever known, said this shit, which is dumb. Like, come on. You have to think about the impact of your words on people. You just have to. You cannot say something like this. You meant bio, and it doesn't even matter. Like, you shouldn't be excluding her from this anyway. But the fact that you never, ever attempted to even think about apologizing. You try to give an explanation, and then you got butthurt. And yes, I don't think you should be told how to feel. I think OP, what she meant was you shouldn't act out because of this. You shouldn't act outwardly angry toward people other than yourself. The only person you have to be mad at right now is yourself for saying what you said and then never walking it back, never apologizing, never trying to mend this fence, only chopping it up more. And then you just want to sit and stew in it. That's his choice. He's the only one that can repair the damage that he did. And if he's choosing not to, it will remain damaged. His only action now is to do damage to your relationship too? What is he, just like thinking his damage is inevitable here? That's it? Checking in here. Pasted feedback from daughter. Oh my. Hello here. Candy Thunder. Jumping in producer role here and pasting in a comment from daughter. Here it is. Comment from daughter. Hi guys, I'm Sarah. This is not my Reddit account. It's my cousin's bio father's side. I apologize for any grammar mistakes and spelling errors. My cousin sent me this post while my husband and I were packing some stuff for our honeymoon earlier, and she thought it was my mom. My cousin is one of my go-to people, so she knows every single drama in my life. We are really tight. I was skeptical at first since I would have never thought of my mother using Reddit. It's just too random. Until I read the overheard part of the post. It just brought back very good memories. On top of that, I noticed the fake names used are based on the first letter of our real names. It gave me the confirmation that this is my mom. I just want to say that I don't appreciate that some of you are calling my mom an asshole. But also, I don't think it's your fault since mom left out a lot of details. After I left for college in the States, a lot of things happened. My cousin, the owner of this account, was the one filling me up with updates. So Mom and Robert had a huge fight regarding me, plus Robert always came home late and drunk from the cockpit. The twins, well, they were shielded from the drama because they were children. They kind of separated for like a year. My mom went to live with her parents. I was always in contact with mom, and she always asked for my whereabouts. You know, normal mom stuff. She also kind of filled me in about her separation from Robert. I actually felt guilty because I knew it was because of me. Their biggest fight was when Uncle Greg, I'll be using the fake names mom used to not add confusion, confronted Robert about the incident because when I arrived at my university dorm, I called him sobbing and told him about everything. Uncle Greg is the typical cool single uncle. He's the funkle. And has always been protective of us cousins. So when he learned about it, he went full Papa Bear mode for me. Robert was kind of mad that he was getting into our business. Mom told Robert that Uncle Greg, actually my cousins and I call him Dada because he's really like our second parent, also has a say in this family because he's family. But Robert wasn't happy about it. So yeah, that insinuated a big argument that almost led Robert and Uncle Greg to have a fist fight. They were almost driven to fisticuffs. They were already throwing unkind words at each other and everyone was just emotional. When I learned about what happened, like I mentioned, I felt guilty and bad. So I sent Robert an email since he doesn't use Messenger. In the email, I told him that he should apologize to my mom and make things right for the twins. I did not receive any response from him, but eventually he and mom made up after a year. I was quite happy because I didn't really want to ruin my mom's marriage. I love my mom so much and I'd do anything for her. You might be wondering why mom did not initiate divorce. Well, first of all, divorce is still illegal in my country. What country is this? Second, annulment is extremely expensive, and even if we were kind of well off, my mom's a physical therapist and a teacher at a university, while Robert used to be a public accountant up until I was 16 and owns a commercial space. Their pockets would have hurt, and an annulment takes a lot of time to process. Today, I reached out to them and I told them that I wanted a proper conversation because this has been long overdue. I think we all need some closure. I do want to note that I have moved on, but forgive? I don't think so. It pisses me off that Robert thinks I can just move on, forgive, and forget. It's hard to think that this was the man I used to call Papa. What's even more sad is that I still see him as my Papa. The pain I felt that day and when I started calling him by his first name. I even wanted to major in accountancy because of him. He was my role model. There were a lot of moments where I just wanted to go back to that day and pretend I didn't hear anything and let it slide. Then maybe I'd still call him Papa. But I would be an idiot for thinking that because no matter what, the damage was already done. So yeah, I am contemplating if I would update you guys on our talk tomorrow. I've texted my mom not to look over the comments here because some of you are just brutal. Sorry, I just don't want my mom to feel bad. P.S. I just want to add that both my mom and Robert paid for my college tuitions. I did not get any loans or anything. Student loans are uncommon in our country. Parents are always the ones paying. I'm actually grateful that Robert helped me pay, but that still doesn't remove the pain. My husband has been really patient and supportive. Little trivia, we were classmates in high school. I was the talkative girl in class, the social butterfly, and he was one of those goofballs, and we actually fought a lot back then. And we eventually developed feelings for each other throughout the freshman year. We were surprised that we went to the university. We were both catching up on each other's lives, and yeah, the rest was history. What is it that prevents someone from being able to own their bullshit? I don't understand when someone's goal does not align with their actions. His goal has to be to repair this. His goal has to be to have a happy life, to have a happy family, to have a healthy relationship with everybody. So why is everything that he's doing driving in the exact opposite direction of this? I do not understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. If you want these things, why? I'm bringing the Winston why back for this one, guys. Why is he just running this into the ground? Why is this like self-sabotage at this point? Yes, it was a stupid thing to say. And guess what? If when he found out that she heard that, that's what he said, he's like, oh my God, that was a terrible thing to say. I'm so sorry. That's not what I meant at all. Let me make it up to you. Squashed right then. Happy life. Great relationship. You're walking her down the aisle. Instead, he somehow turned himself into a victim in the situation here for not being able to walk her down the aisle and is sulking about it to the point where he's ruining his marriage. And he's going to end up ruining his relationship with his kids over this too, because it's just, he's on a burning bridges era. It's his burning bridges era. That's where he's at. He's just, I don't know, seeking isolation or self-sabotaging or something. I don't know. But he definitely gets the Brozo Award for not just apologizing and for letting this escalate to where it's gotten to and continuing the damage instead of just owning it and repairing things is ridiculous. He can feel whatever he needs to feel, but obviously he's not processing these feelings well. He needs some help there. He needs some help in processing, but he has to want to need the help. He has to want the help to get the help. He doesn't want it right now. He just wants to stew and somehow thinks he's a martyr, but not. I don't understand it. I don't understand it.